Now, I'm going to turn this for a minute. I decided to get something to eat before doing my live stream. Oh, shit. Okay. That's what I had. That is a Mexican omelet from Willow Springs Family Restaurant, along with toast. And I had my cup of coffee. Let's see if you can see that again. Right there. Like that. That is so delicious, and usually that restaurant is so good. And I've become a regular there. So that's kind of a good thing. Damn it. There we go. I've been getting used to more. I'm getting more useful with the live streams and also the YouTube shorts. I'm going to be coordinating YouTube shorts in too with everything. So last week I think we left off at Article 35 in the Union Handbook. Now we're picking up at 36. In March, my videos are going to be kind of limited, only because starting in March, I'm going to be going to college, and my job UPS is paying for all of it, so I don't have to pocket out a dime, unless I go over the 30,000 amount that they allow for paying for your courses and your books and everything. So I don't have to worry about paying as long as I stay within the $30,000 amount. As long as I pass my classes, and there's 11 of them I gotta take for the position that I'm trying to go for. I'm gonna be once I complete all my classes, I'll be a certified plant engineer. And at UPS, the plant engineers are the people that fix everything when everything breaks down. So like you gotta know how to weld. Then you gotta know how to work the controls for the machines. Then you gotta know how to then you gotta know like your fluid chemical stuff based on what you know. So starting March 17th, I'll have my first class, and I will be having class Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. One class is Monday, Wednesday. The other one's Tuesday, Thursday. I couldn't get into 11 because since they're already like in one of the semesters, like halfway through, I have to wait until either August or next March to try to get all the classes I need done. So we'll go from there. So now let's get into it. Article 36, non-discrimination. Now, the employer and the union agree not to discriminate against any individual with respect to hiring, compensation, terms, or conditions of employment because of such person's individual race, color, religion, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, national origin, disability, veteran status, age, or any other class protected by any federal or state law, or engage in any other discriminatory acts prohibited by law, nor shall they limit, segregate, or classify employees in any way to deprive any individual employees of employment opportunities because of their race, color, religion, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, national origin, disability, veteran status, or any other class that's protected by federal or state law. Or engage in any other discriminatory acts prohibited by law. The article also covers employees with a qualified disability under the Americans with Disabilities Act. The employer agrees that spousal benefit under this agreement shall be applicable to same-sex partnerships. Now, Article 37, management and employee relations. Now, UPS states that a supervisor and an hourly can date. They just cannot work the same outbound. That's why sometimes they have to move people from different outbounds so that it doesn't interfere. Now, the parties agree that the principle of a fair day's work for a fair day's pay shall be observed at all times, and employees shall perform their duties in a manner that best represents the employer's interest. The employer shall not in any way intimidate, harass, coerce, bully, or overly supervise any employee in the performance of his or her duties. Now, the employer shall treat employees with dignity and respect at all times, which shall include but not limited to giving due consideration to the age and physical condition of the employee. Now, employees employees also shall treat each other as well as the employer with dignity and respect. The following language is applicable to grievances arising from Article 37, Section 1A, which allege intimidation, harassment, coercion, bully, or over supervision. Now, number one says grievances that are not resolved by the grievance procedure shall be forwarded to the local 705 UPS Article 37 grievance committee. Such committee shall be comprised of an equal number of union and employer representatives and a sitting arbitrator who shall decide the merits and penalty of each case to the event of a deadlock by the committee. Now, cases will be represented and decided in accordance with Article 7 and the local 705 UPS grievance committee rules of procedure. Now, number two, the Article 37 committee shall be empowered to provide a monetary penalty for each proven violation of this section up to a maximum penalty of 5 times the employer's daily guarantee, depending on the severity of the offense. Any individual number of management deemed by the committee to have committed 2 or more violations of this section within a 2-year period shall be required to appear in person before the committee for any subsequent grievances, and failure of the management person to appear absent a legitimate excuse shall result in a negative inference. And no employee shall be disciplined for exceeding the personal time based on data received from the DIAD or the IBIS telematics, GPS, or other information technology. Now, vehicles may not be equipped with an inward-facing camera. Forward-facing capability of cameras should not be used for discipline. Further, there shall be no in-cab audio recording or videotaping. Any functionality included in driver-facing cameras, including the driver recording and monitoring functionality, will be disabled and rendered inoperable to prevent recording and monitoring of in-cab activities. Now, upon request, evidence of the disabled functionality of any driver-facing camera should be provided to the union, but the driver-facing sensors will only be used for the purpose of triggering in-cab audible alerts related to the distracted driving, and for the purpose of identifying counseling opportunities related to the same during intergrad or the 40-day driver qualification probationary period. Driver-facing sensors will not be used for any purpose during any phase of a disciplinary process or be the sole basis for disqualifying the driver during the 40-day period. Now, the employer shall not alter the information from the DIAD board or information recorded through the use of any other technology as to diminish an employee's compensable time. Now, with the employee's knowledge, further, the employer shall post for an employee's review a copy of the PTE edits for each day. No supervisor shall use a DIAD or any other information recorded through the use of any other technology under the name of any hourly employee unless the employee is present. This includes for the purpose of training and demonstration. Now, speaking of training and demonstration, once I complete my classes, they're going to actually have me come on the floor, and they're going to test me to see how much I know and whether I can perform the job right once I pass all my classes when I do the plant engineering. So once that gets done, hopefully I can remember everything that needs to be done. Now, it is the policy of the employer to cooperate with the package car driver who desires to be relieved of overtime, subject to the understanding that such package car driver shall complete their assignment and subject to the provisions below. Any package car driver who desires to be relieved from overtime on a particular day or days shall submit a request in writing at least 24 hours in advance. That's pretty much standard. The center manager and the steward shall process such requests based on seniority of the employee. Now, if the employer fails to adjust the driver's dispatch so as to provide an amount of work that can reasonably be completed within 8 hours, the driver shall be entitled to a 2-hour penalty payment at their double time rate. Now, the employer shall allow a minimum of 10% of the package car drivers worked in any center off on a daily basis, and no package car driver shall be granted more than 2 requests per month. but it's understood that to accomplish the above, the employer may need to provide an earlier start time. Um, so it is further understood that the employer is not obligated to let more than one driver in a loop off at one time at any one time. Now, such requests shall not be submitted during the period from November 15th through the first two full weeks of January. Um, any employee whose request is granted shall not be required to work more than 8 hours on the approved day. But if the driver's dispatch for whatever reason was not adjusted, the work will be removed prior to departing the building. Now, while on the route, if the driver determines that they will not be able to finish within 8 hours, the driver will notify management. He shall have the responsibility to make the necessary arrangement to ensure that the driver is off on the requested 8 hours. Now, drivers shall notify management no later than 1 p.m. if they cannot complete their assigned work within the 8-hour shift. No employee shall be threatened, harassed, or disciplined by management in the exercising of this right. Now, the employer shall make a reasonable effort to reduce package car drivers' work days below the 9.5 hours per day were requested. Now, if a review indicates that progress is not being made in the reduction of assigned hours of work, the following language shall apply, except in the period from November 15th through the first 2 full weeks of January. Drivers shall have the right to file a grievance if the employer has continually worked a driver more than 9.5 hours per day for any 3 days in a row, or 3 days in a work week. The employer's vice president and the union's co-chair shall have the discretion to grant the grievance triple time hours for hours worked in excess of 9.5 and to order the employer to adjust the driver's work schedule. Now, if a driver is paid a penalty under this subsection more than 4 times in a calendar year, a meeting shall be scheduled with the district labor manager and business agent and the co-chairs of the UPS 705 grievance committee within the 45 days of the filing to determine what actions are necessary to ensure compliance. After the 45 days of supplemental co-chair meeting, if there are continued violations, the co-chair shall have the discretion to grant the quadruple time penalties and that are outlined in this section. In any event, the employer's vice president and the union's co-chair cannot resolve a grievance. Either party may refer to the matter to arbitration in accordance with Article 7. In the event that the position of the union is sustained, the arbitrator shall have the authority to impose any remedy set forth in this section. Section 37, Article 2. Not more than one member of management shall ride with the driver at any time except for the purpose of training the management personnel. Now, no driver shall be scheduled for more than 1 day's ride per year with more than one member of management on the car, and such day should not be used for disciplinary purposes, and the sole reason for 2 management employees on the car is for supervisory training. If a supervisor assists a driver during an OJS, that day should not be used in determining a fair day's work schedule. Now, during scheduled safety training for feeder drivers, the supervisor shall only drive for demonstration purposes, and this shall not exceed the 3 hours per workday. Section 37, Article 3. Any alleged violation of this article shall be subjected to the grievance procedure. This is where an employee has submitted a grievance regarding an excessive number of rides. No member of management shall ride with that employee unless and until the local level hearing is concluded, and provided that such hearing is held within 5 days' time. If the union has a legitimate reason for not being available within the 5 working days, the period shall be extended up to a total of 10 working days. The employer will give no less than 24 hours notice to a seniority driver prior to any ride, except in case of post-accident or injury rides. Such notification will be included. Will include the reason for the ride. The 24 hours notice may be waived by mutual agreement. Article 38, change of operations, because there's a lot of changes that go on throughout the job. There'll be different things. Section 38, Article 1. The employer agrees that prior to any change in its operation that shall result in a change of domicile or possible layoff of seniority employees, it shall notify the union in writing, and then they meet jointly with the union to inform the union of the changes and to resolve questions raised in connection with this change. This meeting shall be completed. where practical, at least 45 days prior to the change, and the change may not be implemented until the 45 days notice is provided and the meeting is completed unless the operational change is dictated by emergency conditions. Now, the union shall not unreasonably delay the scheduling or completion of the requested meeting. Um, in all locations where the employer implements satellite facilities, the employer shall meet with the union and discuss the issues covered by this article. Um, Not B. Any agreed to change of operations reached by the union and the employer shall be reduced to writing between the parties here too. Um, Regarding the closing of a facility or operation and or the transfer of work, the following shall apply. One, whenever a center is closed and the work is transferred to or absorbed by another center, the affected employee shall be entitled to follow their work and their seniority should be dovetailed at the new center that they go to, if at all that happens. I haven't had that happen yet, so hopefully not. Um, Now, number two, whenever a center or hub is partially closed and the work of package drivers and other employees, whether they be part-time or full-time, excluding the feeder drivers, is transferred to or absorbed by another center, the affected employees may either follow their work and have their seniority dovetailed in the new center, or be allowed to exercise their seniority in their present center and displace the least senior employee in their respective classification. If any of the employees whose work is transferred elects not to follow their work, then he or she shall have the same rights as the remaining employees on the seniority list from which the work was transferred to bid the work being transferred. Now, those employees who follow the work shall have their seniority dovetailed in the new center. Now, let me close this out here. Okay. Let me close that out. I can't believe it's already February 1st, and February 1st is today. I mean, February's already on us. It seems like 2025 is already flying. Now, in a change of operations affecting the feeder drivers, the following language shall apply. Whenever a center is partially closed and the feeder work is transferred to or absorbed by another center, all feeder drivers in seniority order shall have the option of following that work available and have their seniority dovetailed to the new center, or be allowed to exercise their seniority in their present center and take whatever jobs become open as a result of other employees following the work or taking a layoff. Now, if a senior feeder driver elects to take a job which has been transferred out, the displaced employees shall fill the vacated jobs by seniority until the next bid. Section 38, Article 2. As a result of the employer moving an operation more than 75 miles away from where they're at, all full-time employees in accordance with classification seniority who choose to move shall have their moving expenses paid for. The expenses shall include the reasonable cost of packing and the moving of household goods or a house trailer, including dismounting and mounting. The employee or employees who transfer shall have 1 year from the date of the change to move. Now, employees who are transferred out of their original area shall remain in the original pension trust fund, but the employer agrees to pay the required pension contributions to the employee or employee's original pension trust fund as set forth in this trust agreement. Article 39, over the 70-pound service package handling. And I mentioned this before, UPS does get a lot of packages that are 70 pounds, if not more. You got to be able to lift them, and you got to show that you can. Because if you can't show that you can, then they're going to let you go. Now, the parties agree that the health and safety of the employees are of the utmost importance. The employer agrees that UPS management shall not insist that any unsafe action be undertaken, and the union agrees to encourage its members to cooperate in effectuating the handling, pickup, and delivery of parcels without exposing themselves to any safety hazards. Section 39, Article 1, on area package handling. Now, no employee shall be required to handle over 70 pounds packages alone if it is the employee's good faith belief that such handling would be a safety hazard to him or herself. In such cases, the employer shall provide whichever of the following is requested in good faith by the employee in handling of packages over 70 pounds. Another bargaining unit employee for assistance or appropriate lifting or handling devices, or another bargaining unit employee an appropriate lifting handling device for handling, pickup pickup, or delivery circumstances that require both bargaining unit help and an appropriate lifting handling device. Um, Small bags that are over 70 pounds will be handled in accordance with 1 through 3 above. When discovered in the small sort, the bag will be split into 2 bags to lessen the weight. Um, in any such instances involving package car drivers where assistance from another bargaining unit employee has been requested in good faith, both employees shall be full-time employees of the bargaining unit, except that air drivers or helpers were permitted by this agreement may be used. They may be used to assist the full-time driver in the delivery and or pickup of such overweight packages on Saturdays. Air drivers may be assisted by another air driver in the delivery and or pickup of overweight packages. A helper may be used to assist the driver in the handling of overweight packages when a helper is already on the package car in accordance with the terms of this agreement. Now, no employee shall be required to solicit or accept customer assistance if it's in the employee's good faith that the customer is not qualified to help, or that such assistance would be a safety hazard to themselves or the customer. Um, all new and existing employees who handle packages shall be provided with periodic training in the recognition and proper handling of over 70-pound packages. No employee shall be disciplined as a result of following the provisions of this section. Um, Now, give me a second here. There we go. Hold on a second here. I'm trying to look for something. Scores. Yeah, I'm looking up basketball scores too. I'm a big basketball fan. My Bulls won yesterday, so I'm good with that. Even though the Bulls are not going anywhere this year, they're 21 and 28, I think, on the year. So they got lucky with winning yesterday, beating the Raptors. But yeah, anybody that's tuning in, you guys can leave a comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking and what you guys want me to talk about. Now we're on section 39, article, was it 2? Yeah, 2. Okay. Package identification. The employer agrees that it shall periodically instruct its customers to place at least one over 70-pound label on all such packages shipped. Enter the weight of the package on the label and notify the pickup driver of the over 70-pound packages to be picked up. Now UPS will make a mistake sometimes where they right now I'm not taking any calls right now. So the driver shall complete and affix as many additional over 70-pound labels and identifying tape as is reasonably necessary to provide proper visual identification of the package for movement through the system. The label and tape shall be of bright contrasting colors, and no package shall move through the system without enough tape clearly visible from all sides identifying the package is over 70 pounds. Like I said, you gotta keep an eye out for those. Sometimes they'll have like an orange label or like a yellow label, something like that. For the ones that are 70 or more, mainly it's just an orange label. Section 39, Article 3, Inside Package Handling Procedure. Now, for the purpose of inside handling, all packages over 70 pounds shall be considered to be a regular shipment and shall not be commingled with under 70-pound regular packages. No over 70-pound package shall be placed onto the belt, box line, or slide systems used for under 70-pound package operations, except as provided in the employer standard of regular handling procedures, and also in accordance with the safe package handling procedure. Now, if you have a package over 70 pounds and they are moved by belt, box line, or slide system, such packages shall be handled by 2 bargaining unit employees and are the use of appropriate lifting. Okay, now let's get back to that. Now, no package over 70 pounds should be loaded below the left of a drop ring trailer or stacked taller than waist high. Now, usually when you're in the truck loading like I am, you put the heavier packages on the bottom, and then you do medium light, you do medium heavy, and then light, and stack left to right. That's how they basically train. Um, Now, packages over 150 pounds should not be picked up. However, if such a package is discovered in the UPS system, the package should not be handled by one bargaining unit employee unless such can be reasonably broken down into packages which do not exceed over the 70-pound limit. Um, Now, Section 39, Article 4, the parties recognize that it may be necessary to consider new methods and new equipment to handle over 70-pound packages. Um, Now, if either the union or the employer believes it is necessary to implement changes in the over 70-pound labeling procedure or equipment, including any change in labeling of the employer believes it is necessary to increase the current weight limit or the current limits on packages dimensions, it may request a review of such changes. The employer shall negotiate and reach agreement with the union before any change is implemented. Neither party shall be unreasonably withhold the agreement here. Um, Now, if the parties are unable to reach an agreement after 30 days, either the union or the employer shall submit the matter to expedited arbitration pursuant to Article 8. Um, Article 40, air operations. Um, Now, in order for the employer, the union, and the employees to further benefit from the expanding air operations, the following sections shall apply unless specifically stated otherwise in this article. Section 40, Article 1, air drivers. Air driver work shall consist of delivery and pickup of air packages, which, because of time and customer commitments, cannot be reasonably performed by regular package drivers, and such work may include this. Um, Delivery of air packages on which the regular delivery drivers cannot deliver within guaranteed time commitments. Delivery of air packages arriving at the facility after regular drivers have been dispatched. Delivery and pickup of air packages on weekends and holidays. On-call air pickups. Pickup at air counters and drop boxes. Additional late air pickups. All air drivers may, on an exception basis, be used to make service on packages which are not air packages. Let's see. An exception package is intended to be when an air driver is making a pickup, as outlined above, after the regular driver has been in the customer's premises and the customer has an exception ground package. Hold on a second here. Gotta message my sister, because she's being kind of nosy. Crap. Go back. God damn it, fucker. Yeah, I'm still trying to work this laptop. Send that. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to where I was at. Okay. Now where was I? Oh. Oh, okay. An exception package. An exception package is intended to be when an air driver is making a pickup, is outlined above, after the regular driver has been at the customer's premises and the customer has an exception ground package shipment per shipment, and the air driver may make service on this package. Air drivers may continue to pick up automatic return service packages, but the features of this service should not be expanded. Um, Delivery of early AM packages. Um, Movement of air packages to airports and other locations such as service centers, UPS buildings, and driver meet points. Shuttle work currently performed by regular full-time drivers shall be excluded, and should a regular full-time driver vacate a position which includes air shuttle work, that job shall enter the rebid as it previously existed and continue to be paid at the regular driver rate, or the air shuttle work may be combined with other air work to create one or more full-time air or full-time combination jobs paid in accordance with section 40.6 below in an event. No, and no event shall such shuttle work be assigned to a part-time air driver. Um, Now, shuttle work currently being performed by part-time air drivers shall be converted to a full-time air driver work when the driver vacates the job, except when there is not enough work available to create the full-time job. Um, Any violation of Section 40.1 A7 shall obligate the employer to pay the air driver involved the difference between their rate of pay and the top regular package car driver wage rate. Grievances concerning violation or abuse of this section shall be referred directly to the Article 7 grievance procedure for this agreement. Now B, the workday for air drivers shall be as followed: 8 hours scheduled work in the driver's classification, or a combination of 8 hours scheduled work in the air driver's classification and other bargaining unit classifications except air walker. These employees shall receive all appropriate full-time benefits. Less than an 8-hour schedule work in the air driver classification, or a combination of less than 8 hours scheduled work in the air driver classification and other bargaining unit classifications except air walking. I'm not sure what the air walker does. The employer shall notify the union within 30 calendar days in writing when less than 8-hour work when less than an 8-hour work is created, and the union shall have 30 calendar days to grieve the implementation if they believe such position is improper. These less than 8-hour employees shall receive appropriate part-time benefits. Combination work which require more than a 2-hour gap between jobs shall normally not be used unless mutually agreed to by the union and the employer. Okay, who is messaging me here? Now, the air driver work week. Now, the work week for full-time air drivers currently working on Monday through Friday work week shall continue on that schedule, but the work week for additional full-time air drivers shall be any 5 consecutive days in 7, and for all part-time air drivers shall be any 5 days in a 7-day week. Now the air driver guarantee and overtime rate. Now full-time air drivers shall have the same daily and weekly guarantees as provided for regular drivers in this agreement. They shall receive overtime pay for hours worked in excess of 8 hours in a 24-hour period, or in any excess of 40 hours per week. Full-time air drivers who work a 6th or 7th report shall receive time and a half for all hours worked. Less than 8-hour air drivers, which are part-time air drivers who have a regular scheduled start time, shall have a 3.5 hour daily guarantee. They shall receive overtime pay for hours worked in excess of 5 or 8 hours in a 24-hour period, based hour period, or in excess of 40 hours per week. Any less than 8-hour combination air driver, part-time combination air drivers who works their 3-hour guarantee shall be guaranteed 4 hours, and they should be paid overtime for work in excess of 8 hours in a 24-hour period, or in any excess of 40 hours per week. The provisions above do not apply to an air exception driver who performs work extra under section 40.1, like H, J, or K below. Now the employees in paragraphs 2 and 3 above shall be entitled to all other provisions in this agreement, and such as rest period, shift differential, bidding to full-time jobs, and layoff provisions, etc. Um, when a part-time employee bids into an air driver classification, their seniority shall entail on that classification, but company seniority shall be retained for vacation purposes. Um, my vacation time for this year will not be until October. Will not be until October and my 1 year mark is in September. Um, by June, I should have my insurance for UPS, and then I also have an option week which I have not taken. My option week could be used as like my second week of vacation if I choose to do it that way. Doesn't mean I have to. Um, Start times. All full-time and part-time air drivers who have a scheduled assignment shall have start times posted in the previous week, and start times may be adjusted with notification prior to the employees reporting to work. Um, Break periods. Full-time air drivers shall receive the same provisions for lunch which shall be taken between the 3rd and 6th hour, and our breaks as package drivers receive in this agreement. Now, this provision is not intended to give less than 8-hour air drivers or less than 8-hour combination air drivers more than one 10-minute break unless specifically stated above in this agreement or otherwise. Any less than 8-hour air driver, part-time air driver, or less than 8-hour combination air driver, part-time combination air driver who is dispatched within 8 hours or with 8 hours or more shall be provided the same break or lunch period as that provided to full-time drivers under this agreement. Um, Bidding procedure. And any air driver job shall be subject to the appropriate bidding procedure in this agreement. Um, exception air drivers. Now the employer and the union recognize that there may be air packages that cannot be delivered by the regular full-time package car driver or the scheduled air drivers listed in this section. Therefore, the parties agree to continue the practice of allowing the use of part-time employees who have signed the exception qualified list or who have expressed in writing their desire to be on the list and who have been certified to deliver these exception air packages. Now, copies of the exception air driver qualified list shall be provided in the union on a quarterly basis. Employees certified on the exception of air driver list who have not worked over 40 hours in the current work week shall be offered this work by seniority. Exception air drivers shall have no guarantee and shall be paid only for the part-time work making air deliveries in the event that a part-time employee who works over 8 hours in any one 24-hour period, they should be compensated at the rate of time at the rate of time and 1/2 for all hours worked over 8 hours at the rate of pay specified in section 40.6 below. No exception air driver shall be required by the employer to wait at a center for packages off the clock. Personal vehicles. Air exception drivers shall use the employer's vehicles whenever possible. Air exception drivers who would happen to use their personal automobiles shall be reimbursed at the IRS limit applicable per mile for all miles driven to perform the air driving work in addition to their air driver wages. When an employee uses their own vehicle in the service of the employer and is involved in an accident, the employer should be responsible for the damages to both the employee's vehicle and to the other person's vehicle and property, and shall provide liability insurance coverage. Now, holiday work. Because sometimes there will be certain holidays that they will schedule you for. Now, certain holidays at UPS, you can work. They're optional, meaning you don't have to work them, but I try to, because if I come in to work on a holiday that they offer where it's optional, like Martin Luther King Day, I worked that day because it was double time pay. I'm not going to turn down double time pay when you obviously can need it at any given point. That's why my check was higher this week instead of being lower than it usually is. When it is necessary to provide air service on holidays, the following procedure shall be used. The employer shall offer this work in seniority order to full-time air drivers who have worked at least one day that week before offering it to a part-time air driver. When the scheduling needs cannot be met using the above provision, the employer shall have the right to force part-time air drivers and then full-time air drivers to work starting in reverse order of seniority. If after exhausting the above steps scheduling needs are still not met, the employer shall offer the work in seniority order within the package driver classification. If more drivers are still needed, the reverse seniority order concept shall be used for package drivers, and package car drivers who work on a holiday may make a written request for an 8-hour guarantee. Now, such written request shall be made the last workday prior to the holiday. All time worked on a holiday shall be paid at the holiday rate contained in this agreement. Most of the holidays are double time pay, so that's how I know. Um, that's how I know certain things. Anyway, the scheduling of the support work shall be reviewed with the union prior to the holiday. Now, if the union believes that the employer has scheduled an excessive number of support employees, it shall have the right to appeal directly to the UPS 705 Grievance Committee. The committee shall review the schedule and determine whether the employer has scheduled an excessive number of support employees. If it's determined by the committee that the employer worked excessive support employees, the excessive employees worked shall be paid double time for hours worked in addition to their holiday pay. Um, Air drivers and support employees scheduled on a holiday to ensure air drivers and air services to the customer, including time performing incidental work, shall receive straight time for all hours worked up to 8 hours. In addition to the holiday pay, overtime provision shall apply if the employee works more than 8 hours in the day. Um, all part-time bid air drivers who work on a holiday will be provided a 3.5 hour guarantee. Sometimes basically Saturday or Sunday air work. To perform Saturday or Sunday air work with the employer and the union recognize the need for all air drivers other than those regularly scheduled. Qualified part-time employees who are interested in performing this work shall so notify the employer and be certified and be placed in seniority order on a posted qualified air driver list. Now, such work shall be first offered in seniority order to employees on the qualified list who have not worked more than 37 hours in the current week. This work week shall then be offered in seniority order to qualified part-time employees regardless of hours worked. Now, if the scheduling needs still cannot be met and additional employees are needed, the employer may force qualified part-time employees in reverse seniority order. These employees shall be paid at the air driver's straight time rate of pay in accordance with section 40.6 below. Time and 1/2 shall be paid after 8 hours per day or after the 40-hour work week. Um, all employees working on it as an air driver on Saturday or Sunday under this section shall have a 3 hour guarantee rate. Um, um, References in this article to an air driver, part-time or full-time, include employees who on a scheduled basis perform 1. Only air driving work, or 2. Air driving work in combination with other bargaining unit work. Section 40.2 Air walkers. Air walkers may deliver and or pick up air packages and shall not drive any vehicle which requires a driver's license in the performance of their duty. Air walkers shall not be used to pick up or deliver ground packages. Air walkers shall start and end the day in the area that they work. Air walkers shall be guaranteed 3 hours per day and shall be given a 10-minute paid break. Air walkers shall be paid in accordance with section 40.6 below. Air walkers shall receive all part-time benefits and conditions of employment as outlined in this agreement, including the right to bid into a full-time position. An air walker position shall be open for bid to current employees prior to filling that position from the outside. The intent of this section is not to eliminate present full-time air jobs and our combination jobs. Um, um, Section 40.3, Article 3, Gateway Operations. They do have gateway operations at UPS anyway. I've never actually had to do that. Employees presently working in or hired into existing air hubs and our gateways shall continue to work under the present agreements that are covering the air hub and gateway operations. The employer currently operates a gateway at its O'Hare facility within the union's jurisdiction. Don't talk about O'Hare Airport. That's not too far from me. So anyway, if you ever think about a job with UPS, like getting in, check to make sure that there's a Kosh UPS. It's spelled CACH. Those are the ones that pay more, other than the airports. If you go into a smaller facility, like a smaller warehouse facility for UPS, you're not going to get paid as much unless you do the Kosh or the airport. So look into that and see if you ever have a Kosh in your area and see what they pay. The one I work for pays 21 or more an hour, depending on what department you go into. So it's actually just look into it to make sure that you got what you need. Um, The work week for all Air Hub and Gateway employees shall consist of any 5 days and a 7-day work period. Um, Air Hub and Gateway employees hired prior to August 1st, 1987, shall have the right to maintain the groundwork of the work week in existence at that time if such work exists. Um, now, now the daily guarantee. The 3-hour daily guarantee shall apply whenever possible. Furthermore, the parties agree that in those areas that do not currently have a daily guarantee, the following procedures shall apply. If 80% of the employers reporting to a shift work within 3 hours or with 3 hours or more for 30 working days within a 40-day period, except for peak season, such shift shall be entitled to a 3-hour guarantee. The employer may also provide a higher daily guarantee to the extent it does not conflict with the overtime rules in this agreement. Grievances concerning this issue shall be brought directly to the Air UPS 705 Grievance Committee. I've only gotten overtime maybe several times since being there in the 5 months that I'm coming up on. So basically, it's don't bank on it when it comes to UPS to give you any overtime in any given week unless it's peak season. Um, Holidays, when it is necessary to operate an air hub and gateway operation on a holiday, these employees work. Those employees who worked shall be paid overtime in addition to a holiday pay if it is not a scheduled workday for those employees. For those employees not qualified for overtime, as stated above, the holiday should be a normal workday. The holiday shall be defined as the day the holiday is nationally observed and is set forth herein in Article 51, Section 51.1. Start times on these days may differ from normal workday schedules, and start times basically. Um, the rest periods. Air operation employees who are covered by a daily guarantee shall receive the same rest period provisions as outlined in this agreement. And when it comes to seniority, Air Hub and Gateway employees shall work off one seniority list within each operation. Unless otherwise mutually agreed, part-time employees covered under this section shall be given the same opportunities for full-time positions as described in this agreement. In Air Hub and gateways that currently have no procedure to recognize part-time seniority, part-time employees with 1 or more years of seniority shall be allowed in seniority order to fill the permanent vacancies on a different shift and or fill permanent vacancies above the airport sort facility and the ramp in all months except November and December. The employee shall be allowed to exercise the procedure once a year. Um, Now, start times may be adjusted with notification prior to the employees reporting for work to coincide with the arrival and departure of parcels. Yeah, my schedule every week switches depending on the needs. Um, my schedule, sometimes I could start as early as 4. Other times I could start as late as 5. Um, Other times I could be starting at 4:30 in the morning. These because I work morning shifts. Rain gear. The employer shall provide all outside ramp employees rain gear to include pants and tops. The D's crews shall be provided with insinuated coveralls or insulated coveralls, insulated gloves, boots, safety harnesses, masks, and rain gear that are large enough to fit over the insulated coveralls. The gateway operation must have an established 5-day work week with a minimum of 3 hours of continuous work on all shifts, excluding the break periods. Um, Section 40, Article 4, start times for air shuttle and air feeder drivers. Because of the nature of the air business, regular air shuttle and air feed drivers may have flexible start times on Monday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and our holidays to coincide with the needs of the employer's air operation. Um, Section 40, Article 5, grievance procedure. All grievances, controversies, and our disputes concerning the air operation shall be subjected to the regular grievance. Now, now, all grievances, controversies, and our disputes concerning the air operation shall be subjected to the regular grievance procedure. Any decision rendered on a grievance which interprets Article 40 of this agreement shall only be a precedent setting in other cases under this agreement. Um, Section 40, Article 6, wages. All hourly wages for employees covered under the Article 40 shall be determined in accordance with this section. Article 22 and Article 41 were specified. Part-time air drivers, including exception air drivers, shall be paid as followed. Start 12 months, you could be making up to 23 an hour. After 24, okay, you're starting off at 23 an hour if you're an air driver. After 12 months, which is 1 year, $24. 2 years, $25. After 3 years, you're making 29. After 48 months, which is 4 years, then you're making top rate pay. Effective on August 1st of 2023, the prior $33.94 an hour, which is 48 months top rate pay, shall change on August 1st of each year of the agreement to reflect the agreed upon general wage increases. Now, seniority part-time employees who entering a part-time air driver job after August 1st, 2008 shall begin at the starting rate of what was being offered back then. Part-time employees who are awarded a scheduled part-time air driver job shall receive progression credit in accordance with the following. For each 4 days on which exception air work was performed in a 2-year period immediately prior to the bidding award, 1 month of progression credit shall be granted. In addition, if a bidding part-time air driver is displaced, they shall retain their progression credit under the paragraph A for any air exception work. Full-time air drivers shall be paid as followed. Start, like I said, 23 an hour. After one year, which is what you start off as. After you reach your 1 year, you're making 24. After 2 years, you're making 25. After 3 years, you're making 36, and then after 4 years, you're making top pay. Effective on August 1st of 2023, the prior $35.94 an hour at the top rate shall change on August 1st each year of the agreement to reflect agreed upon general wage increase. Seniority full-time employees entering a full-time air driver job shall be slotted based on their company seniority. All new hire full-time or part-time air drivers shall be placed in the applicable progression in paragraphs A or B above, and all existing full-time or part-time air drivers in progression on August 1st of 2023 shall be slotted into the new progressions in paragraphs A or B above as applicable. Now, part-time employees who bid into a full-time air driver job covered by this section will be red circled at their current wage rate until such time as the calculated progressions rate set forth above exceeds that rate. The transfer date will become their full-time start date for the purposes of applying in the progression set above. A part-time employee shall not lose the red circle protected the protection provided by this paragraph as a result of transferring from the one-time air driver job to another full-time air driver job. Now, all current full-time or part-time air drivers who are out of the progression in the prior agreement shall receive the general wage increases provided for in accordance in Articles 22 or 41 as applicable. Employees in existing or newly created less than 8-hour combination jobs shall be paid the part-time air rate in accordance with paragraphs A above for air driver work and their normal part-time wages for the hours worked in other classifications in accordance with Article 22. Now, employees who are in existing full-time combination jobs or who hereafter enter full-time combination jobs shall be paid the appropriate full-time air rate for air driver work and appropriate inside part-time rates for the hours worked in other classifications. If an employee has no established inside rate, that employee shall be paid the appropriate part-time rate in accordance with his company seniority. Now, employees on the exception air driver list shall continue to be slotted into the part-time air driver progression in paragraph A above, based upon the length of time that the employee has been performing the air exception work. Now, seniority employees. Now, seniority employees who begin performing air exception work shall start at the seniority rate. New part-time employees signing up to perform air exception work shall receive the start rate in paragraph A above until they gain seniority. Like for me, I'm at the lowest. I'm at the lowest pay for what a package handler can make because like I said, I'm just starting. I just started working there back in September. It's gonna take me at least it's gonna take me a while before I gain seniority um, at that position if I stay at that position. That is. Um, Part-time air hub and gateway employees and air walkers shall be paid the applicable part-time rate of pay as set forth in Article 22, Section 5A or B. However, if a part-time employee is awarded an air walker job, they should continue to receive their inside rate in accordance with Article 22, and full-time air hub and gateway jobs shall be paid in accordance with Article 41, Section 3, expressly provided on my pay rates for such a classification. Now, air operation employees who are covered by a daily guarantee um, shall receive the same rest period provisions as outlined above. Um, um, upon ratification of this agreement, employees performing any pushback duties in air hubs and gateways shall be paid an hourly premium for the duration of the shift in which such duties are performed. For any um, these duties, the premium shall be $1 per hour for pushback, and the premium shall be 75 cents per hour. Um, within 30 days of the within 30 days of the implementation of the employer's new payroll processing system, but no later than January 1st of 2026, the following shall apply. Employees performing K loading duties on aircraft only shall receive a premium of 50 cents per hour for the duration of the shift in which such duties are performed. Article 41 Wages, Section 41.1 full-time wage increases. All full-time employees who have obtained seniority as of August 1st, 2023 shall receive the following general wage increases for each contract year. The total wage increase for the year shall be as followed. 2023, just because that just passed, $2.75 per hour. This year, last year they got 75 cents extra. Same thing with 2025. 2026, $1, and then 2027, $2.25 an hour. 225 as a raise. Full-time employees still in progression on the effective date of this agreement shall receive the above contractual increases and should be paid no less than what they are entitled to in accordance with Article 41, Section 2 below. Section 41, Article 2, full-time wage progression. No employee shall be required to complete a full-time progression more than one time, even if they transfer between full-time jobs, except as set forth in this paragraph. The sole exception is when an employee is awarded a package car or feeder driver job and has not yet previously held a full-time job which includes driving duties. In such event, the employee shall have a break and rate equal to the employee's current wage rate until 6 months from the date that the employee entered the job. Now, the employee shall then go to the prevailing top rate. A part-time air driver who has completed the article who has completed the Article 40 progression bids a full-time inside job, and then a driver within 2 years shall have the same break-in period. Now B, the progression for employees entering a package car driver, feeder, or other full-time job other than air driver or job covered by the Section 3 and 4 below position after August 1st, 2023 shall be as follows. Your starting pay, like I said, would be $23 an hour if you were an air driver. After a year, you make 24. After 2 years, 25. After 36, you're making $30 and $30.75 $30.75 an hour, and then after 4 years, you're making top rate pay. Part-time employees on the payroll as of July 31st, 2023, who subsequently are promoted to full-time employment under this paragraph shall be red circled until such time as the calculated progression rate exceeds that rate. The transfer date shall become the full-time start date for purposes of applying in the above progression. If a part-time employee who bids into a full-time position and the top rate of the classification is less than their current rate, the employee shall be placed at the top rate of the new classification immediately. This subsection shall supersede any provision to the contrary in this agreement. Employees in the Article 41, Section 2, B, progression of the prior agreement as of the date of ratification shall be slotted into the new progression above. Now, Section 41, Article 3, full-time inside combination employee wages. The rates in this section shall not apply to any full-time job, to any full-time inside job, um, guaranteed in Article 22, Section 2, created prior to August 1st of 1997. Rather for employees entering those jobs, Article 41, Section 2B above shall apply. Shall apply to the new people. Now, part-time employees whose rates are higher than those set forth below, who bid into a full-time inside job covered by the section, shall be paid their current inside wage rate plus the general wage increase. Other part-time employees who bid into a full-time inside job covered by the section shall be red circled at their current wage rate until such time as the calculated progression rate set forth below exceeds that rate. The transfer date shall become their full-time start date rate for purposes of applying the progression set forth below. Any part-time employee shall not lose the red circle protection provided by this paragraph as a result of transferring from one full-time inside job to another full-time inside job. Now, the top rate pay for any the top rate pay shall be $36 an hour plus the general wage increase provided in Section 1 above. Employees who are in progression as of the date of ratification shall be slotted into the above progression. When the progression is completed for these employees, the employee shall be placed at the then current top rate and shall thereafter be eligible to receive the general wage increases beginning on the next date specified in Article 41, Section 1. Full-time employees who bid into a full-time inside job covered by this section shall be paid in accordance with their full-time seniority date. Full-time employees with 4 years or more of full-time seniority who bid into a full-time inside job shall be paid the top current rate of the classification. Section 41, Article 4, package car with pup. Then the employer agrees to pay an additional 10 cents per hour when a package car driver operates a package car with a pup, which I'm not sure what a pup is. Now, now these are the wage increases for different jobs. I'm a loader unloader. These are for the full-time people, which I'm not full-time. But this is the breakdown of what their pay will be every year, like what races they'll get every year if you're full-time, because I'm considered part-time. It'd be a while for me to reach this. Tractor trailer driver, the rate of raises, they got a $2.75 raise back in August 1st of 2023. This last year they got a 75-cent raise. Same thing will happen on August 1st of 2025. They'll get like $1 on August 1st of 2026, and then a $2.25 raise by August 1st of 2027. Tractor trailer drivers, their top rate of pay is $41.87 an hour. But they will make about $49,375 a year once they hit top pay. Parcel driver, those are the people that drive the trucks. They're making $41.52 an hour. Their top rate of pay will be $49.25 by August 1st of 2027 if they haven't renewed the contract until they renew the contract by then. Now you got sorters, loaders, unloaders, and puller loaders. I'm a sorter and loader and unloader. So that's what I make. So when it comes to loading and unloading, those people, the loaders and unloaders make their top rate of pay is $48 an hour, and is $48.54 an hour. That's their top rate of pay. Supposedly I could get a 75-cent raise this year, but I won't know until I actually see it. I guess I'll find out then when I get my raise. Okay, we'll leave off on that one. So the setup guarantee rate applies to all of the above for work up to 4 hours at a higher classification, and they shall receive 4 hours guarantee rate. For work in excess of 40 hours at a higher classification, they shall receive 8 hours guaranteed at the higher rate. Um, Article 42. Some jobs have uniforms. For me, I'm a loader unloader, so I don't have to wear a uniform. I can just wear what I'm wearing now. Um, if an employee is required to wear any kind of uniform as a condition of their continued employment, such uniform, except shirts, shall be furnished and maintained by the employer free of charge, and worn at the standard required by the employee or the employer. The wearing of hats and ties is optional. Is optional with the employee. You don't have to wear a tie. I don't have to for the job I'm doing. The employer shall supply both a lightweight uniform for summer and a heavier uniform for winter. Each employee shall be issued 6 pairs of trousers and 10 shirts. The employee shall be allowed to select their choice of shirts and trousers in any combination from short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, shirt jackets, light trousers, and a heavy trouser. Um, Short uniform trousers shall be provided as an option for package and feeder air drivers at no cost to the employee, and such shorts may only be worn in compliance with the uniform and appearance standards established by the employee, or the employer, basically. Now, wearing of the uniform other than during working hours is prohibited. Employees exercising the short pants option can wear either the shorts or the shirt to and from work, but not the entire uniform. Um, Employees shall be allowed to wear the most current safe driving pin on their shirt pocket and the company approved local certified miniature Teamster logo pin on their left front collar. Um, Upon request by non-driving employees who work outside, rain gear should be provided to include pants and tops. So oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna go get my other stuff here. I'm gonna need in a minute. Um, um, uh, there we go. Oh shit, fucker. Oh, fuck me. Damn, I'm getting old. Um, Article 43 is the premium services reserved. I don't think I saw it. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Um, Article 44, seniority. Section 44.1, seniority. Right. Once you put your time in, you'll gain seniority, and then you can start staying longer and longer, providing that nobody is higher above you in the seniority rate. So now the employee seniority and not the equipment shall prevail for all purposes and in all instances. Now, seniority shall be broken only by discharge for just cause, voluntary resignation, and more than 2 years layoff, or if the employee fails to report to work for 3 consecutive working days and does not properly notify the company by the beginning of the start time on the fourth day. In any event of a layoff, an employee so laid off shall be given 2 weeks notice of the recall and mailed to the last known address on file. Um, Unless physically unable to do so, an employee must respond to such notice within 3 days after receipt thereof, and actually report to work in 7 days after receipt of notice, unless otherwise mutually agreed to. Um, in the event the employee fails to um, hired only for peak season October 1st through the second full week of January should not be entitled to seniority, and no new employees shall be hired. If employees on the seniority list are available at adjoining centers and willing to perform the work, part-timers who have worked to fill vacancies in the package car or feeder classifications who successfully bid into a permanent opening shall have all days worked in filling vacancies during the 12 months prior to the first day worked on the bid job, deducted from the application program and from the applicable progression. It is understood that the filing of vacancies in the feeder classification occurs in the peak season only. Um, all employees hired to perform bargaining unit work shall pay union dues in the same manner as seniority employees of the collective bargaining unit. Upon attaining seniority, an employee shall be required to pay the union initiation fees. Yeah, because they take out union dues on my check. I'm just not sure how much. I guess I could look, but let me see. Um, Let's go to my UPS login. I'm pretty sure I can figure this out. I try not to show the portals. Actually, let me hold off on that one for a minute. Um, Now, Section 44, Article 2, probationary employees orientation meetings. Um, a probationary employee shall work under the provisions of this agreement, but shall be employed only on a 40-day working day trial basis, during which period they may be terminated without further recourse, provided, however, that the employer may not terminate or discipline for the purpose of evading this agreement or discriminated against the union members. After working 40 days within a 90-day consecutive day period, the employee shall be placed on the regular seniority list, and their seniority date shall revert back to the start date of the 40-day period in which the employee gained seniority. See, I've gained some seniority, but not a lot. I started working for UPS on September 16th. That was my first day. Um, that was my date of orientation, basically. Attendance at orientation meetings not to extend beyond 3 days shall not count as working days. People attending orientation shall be paid a daily wage of $90 for full time and $50 for part time. Business agents and or stewards shall be permitted to attend new employee orientations for the sole purpose of talking about the benefits of union membership. Now, the employer agrees to provide the local union at least 1 week notice of the date, time, and location of such orientation. The business agent shall give the labor relation manager 48 hours notice of attendance. The steward shall remain on the clock for the actual time spent in the meeting for the purpose to talk about the benefits of union membership. Now, if the orientation is held during their normal working hours at their normal place of work. Um, Section 44, Article 3, posting list. The current list of employees arranged in the order of the seniority and hiring date shall be posted quarterly in a conspicuous place at each center. Um, Copies of the list shall be sent to the union on the first work of the calendar year. Um, the employer shall not post or make available for viewing in the workplace any employee's social security number or home telephone number. Now, in areas where bidding systems require both a signature and a phone number, an employee shall have the option of providing their phone number privately to the person in controlling that bid. Um, Section 44, Article 4, layoffs. The employer shall make an effort to reduce assigned overtime in any classification where an employee may be laid off. Hopefully that doesn't happen to anybody. Now, full time, when it becomes necessary to reduce the working force in a classification, the employee in that classification with the least amount of company seniority shall be laid off first. For the duration of the layoff, the employee shall have one choice of the following option. Um, if a full time feeder driver is laid off, they may exercise their company seniority in the same classification and displace the employee with the least amount of full time company seniority in the classification on the following Monday in local Sunapplies jurisdiction. Um, if a full time package car driver is laid off, they may exercise their company seniority in the same classification, and they also can displace the employee with the least amount of full time company seniority in the classification on the following Monday in local Sunapplies jurisdiction. Um, Now, if a full-time Article 22.3 combination employee is laid off, the employee performing the job being reduced may exercise their company seniority and displace the full-time combination employee with the least amount of company seniority at that location. Now, if qualified, the location is defined as the same sort combination that compromises the laid off employee's bid. If unable to displace the junior Article 22.3 at their location, they may exercise their seniority to displace the least senior Article 22.3 employee on the following Monday in the district if qualified. No combination employee will be laid off if a part-time employee is scheduled to perform the work that is being reduced. Now, if any other full-time employee is laid off, they may exercise their company seniority and they may displace the employee with the least amount of seniority in the classification on the following Monday in that district if qualified. Now, if a full-time employee, as stated above, is laid off and is unable to exercise that full-time company seniority within the classification, they may displace the employee with the least amount of company seniority in any full-time classification within that district after 5 working days, Monday through Friday, provided that they qualify. Um, Laid off full-time seniority employees in order of their company seniority may elect to take instead of may take instead of the above options the work of the two least of senior part-time employees within their building, if any, for the duration of the layoff, provided that they are qualified. In such cases, any full-time employee shall be guaranteed a minimum rate of 8 hours of work. Um, Now, if the laid off and full time employee elects to take a layoff rather than exercise the right to one of the above um, options, they shall be considered a laid off employee for lack of work for the purpose of unemployment compensation. Now, employees displaced from their original domicile due to layoff shall remain on the job and location into which they are displaced, provided that they have company seniority, and they shall be entitled to select in the location and classification that they are working that their seniority shall be dovetailed for the purpose. Um, Now, when the layoff is over, the employee shall return to their regular center. Seniority employee shall be offered any available job, even if on a temporary basis. Any full-time employee exercising their seniority rights to displace another employee under the provision of this section shall not offer any reduction to the employee's rate of pay and benefits that they enjoyed prior to the layoff. Um, Part-time workers, when it becomes necessary to reduce the part-time workforce on a shift of sorts of sorts or in bidding, the employee with the least amount of company seniority shall be laid off first. Um, um, Now, if a part-time employee is laid off for 1 week, Monday through Friday, they may place their names on a list to exercise their seniority within the building and to displace the least seniority part-time employee. If the laid off part-time employee elects to take a layoff rather than exercise their right to displace, they will be considered a laid off employee for the lack of work for the purpose of unemployment compensation. Um, when the layoff is over, the employee shall return to their regular sort. Any part-time driver exercising their seniority rights to displace another employee under the provision of this section shall continue to receive their current air driver rate of pay. If they are not recalled to the air driving after a period of 9 months, the rate shall revert to the appropriate inside rate of pay. Um, Section 44, Article 5, filling vacancies. Um, in manning a new operating center, those employees whose territory is being transferred shall have the option of moving to a new operating center. Any additional permanent assignments that are needed shall be filled by posting such jobs for all employees in the classification company-wide unit until all such vacancies are filled by qualified employees. And filling permanent job vacancies in the existing center, including swing drivers, the employees in the center shall be given first choice at such vacancies in order of seniority. Permanent vacancies, except at Christmas time, shall be understood to be any job which has existed for a period of 30 working days. Um, a permanent vacancy is currently defined as a vacancy in a bid position due to a newly created bid position, an employee's death, resignation, retirement, discharge for just cause, and a successful promotion or bid to another job classification. Um, um, I might be. Um, um, Now, filling all permanent vacancies shall be in such manner as to cause minimal disruption to the employer's operations of said vacancies being bid no later than 15 days from the date of vacancy. Um, Now a vacancy resulting from a promotion shall not occur until the promoted employee has successfully completed their trial period. All feeder drivers and package car drivers shall be permitted to bid new permanent vacancies in the porter area of car wash classification. The work shall be at the prevailing rate of pay for the classification of work that they perform, in addition to all fringe benefits. Section 44 points Article 6 route changes. When a bid area is changed 50% or more, the employee shall have the right to follow the portion in excess of 50% of the delivery stops. Now, if the temporary change involves more than a two-way split, the driver shall be assigned by seniority. Now, permanent, when a driver's bid area, so you got temporary and possibly permanent. When a driver, so permanent, when a driver's bid area is permanently changed, by 50% or more for the stops, start time change of more than 1 hour or a change of 50% or more of the area or loop, they shall have the right to follow whichever portion of their bid area that they desire, or allow the job to proceed through the bidding procedure and work as directed in any event that there are two or more drivers that choose the same that choose the same split under the above language, seniority shall prevail. Um, in centers where drivers bid on a delivery area, the bid shall contain a description of the area or loop and identify the baseline. It is understood that a day-to-day adjustments may be made. The above language shall also apply to full-time combination jobs. All job bids shall be filled within 10 working days after completion of the bidding process. Um, Section 44.7, Article 7, bidding. When any permanent vacancy or opening occurs, it shall be posted for bid and remain posted for up to 5 working days after the completion of the job bidding process. A copy of the bid sheet will be given to the union steward upon request. Um, um, Package car drivers shall be limited to 3 successful bids in a calendar year. Now, package car drivers shall be limited to 3 successful bids in a calendar year. Swing and coverage drivers shall bid from a weekly center bid list, which shall be posted the week prior. Swing and coverage drivers may elect to cover a weekly bid or cover daily vacancies. If a swing driver or coverage driver elects to bid daily coverage work, they shall not bump a driver bidding on a weekly coverage work. Weekly coverage is defined as those areas open for the entire week. Now, if a package car driver is removed from their bid route to cover another route, they shall be entitled to a 2 hour penalty payment in their straight time rate of pay. So that is those are Articles 36 through 37. We'll pick up at 44 next week. Um, so um, this is my folder for all my college stuff. Like I said, UPS will be paying for all my college. This right here is for the plant engineering, which is what I'm going to be going for, and these are all the classes I'm going to have to take for to be a plant engineer at UPS. There's 11 classes, so bear with me here. So these are the 11 classes that I'm required to take if I'm thinking about taking the plant engineer job at UPS. um, Electricity and electronics. Um, Industrial controls, advanced industrial controls, introduction to PLCs, mechanical systems 1, mechanical systems 2, um, fluid power 1 and 2, and basic arc welding 1 and 2, and machinery movement and setup. Those are all the classes I would have to take if I plan on advancing into the plant engineering job at UPS. Like I said, UPS pays for everything. I do not have to worry about I don't have to worry about paying a dime. I'm going to be going to Moraine Valley. That's the college I picked because it's closer to where I live at, and I don't have to go very far. Moraine Valley is only 10 minutes from me, from where I live at. That's a drive. That's actually driving, not walking. Walking would be about an hour, or if not more. Um, let's go into looking at the photos of what the college looks like. I got to see it the other day when I went. Let's see here. I went there on Wednesday. This is what the college looks like. Um, it's a pretty big college. There's like a lot of buildings. This is a community college, so it's not like a university. Universities are the ones that have dorms. The community colleges do not. Um, so this is what the college looks like. I went there on Wednesday to try to register. I had a lot of running around during that day. Um, let's go here for a minute. Um, um, do you want this one or another one? Let me see. Um, so here, this is what I had when I went to the college. Um, on the on Wednesday they had loaded fries in the cafeteria, along and they were also having a lunar year. This is they were having fried rice and an egg roll, and then I got a soda from the from the cooler, and that's what I had for my lunch while I was waiting to register for my classes on um on that particular Wednesday. Um, so these are like what the buildings look like. They're all listed by letters. Like the buildings are listed as A, B, C, D. Um, here. Um, Also, as long as I maintain a C average or higher through the courses, I will get paid an extra $500 on top of my UPS checks, and that 500 extra dollars can be used for what I decide to use it for. I could use it for rent. I could use it for groceries. I could use it for going out to eat if I choose to. I try to limit me going out to eat, but not always possible. Um, so let's see here. My total amount was for registration was $1,026. UPS is paying for all that. They're also paying for my books too. Um, and yes, this is all taxed, meaning that next year I will get a tax form from UPS for attending college. Um, I just got to keep an eye out for those when I get them. Um, my tuition and fees is $3,000. That does not include the classes or what they're paying for. My first two classes I'm taking are electricity and electronics, and the next one is mechanics. So my electricity and electronics class are Monday, Wednesday. Um, the classes start at 11:30 and they end at 3:30. Same thing with the mechanical systems on Tuesday and Thursday. The class starts at 11:30 and it ends at 3:30. I do not have a teacher for the mechanical systems yet. They don't have one registered. They don't have one listed yet. But my first one, electricity and electronics, will be a guy named Evans. That's going to be my teacher for that class. Um, when I went to the school, and I'm a guy, so I'm going to notice it. When I went to the Moraine Valley College to go try to register, man, there was a lot of women that were there, like college students that were fucking fine as hell, like they were hot, and I'm like, damn, um, I'm missing out, and I might as well go to college now instead of waiting, just to advance. And the reason why I'm going to college anyway is to advance my career. Basically, I have the option. So for the particular position I'm going for the plant engineer, they have a certificate, and you have a degree. I don't know if I'm going to do the degree yet, but I might start with the certificate and then work my way into doing the degree. But once I get my degree in plant engineering, I can be making one of the top pays. According to the lady I talked to in the CRCP office, when it comes to plant engineering, depending on certificate or depending on your degree, um, my pay right now is 21 an hour as a package handler. Once I become a plant engineer, I can be making upwards of damn near $50 an hour and making $100,000 if not more a year. And that's better than doing package handling and getting only like 30, 40 bucks down the line, as a top pay person. Um, when it comes to college, they offer everything. Like Moraine Valley offers a lot of shit. You don't have to necessarily do the plant engineering, but you could do welding. You could do whatever. I do want to do welding, but there's 6 different certificates for welding at Moraine Valley. Um, and I would take as much as I can get. I would like to do all 6 certificates. Um, I'll get a certificate for one of them, and that's the arc welding, 1 and 2. I'll have 2 certificates for that, but there's 4 additional ones after that I would love to get if I can get them. You just gotta put your time and effort in. Um, let's see. I did a video on my other YouTube channel yesterday called Rusty the King, and I did a video on Cerberus. If you don't know, like Cerberus is the hellhound that guards Hades. Um, so I haven't decided what my next video will be on that particular channel, but some people were interested in what I had to say about Cerberus and everything else like that. Um, so for this, I might be going on this one. So um, so for this video, we just talked about my college courses that I'm going to be starting on March 17th. That's my first class. Um, and then my other class will start on March 18th. Because I started a little bit later in the school year, a lot of the classes were taken up except for one, except for the two that I just got into, and then by next year, if I might have to wait till August, or I might have to wait till like August or some, because they do summer, spring, winter, fall for courses. If I can't get into all the courses now, then I might have to wait to summertime, or possibly fall or either spring of next year to try to get all the classes I need. Um, um, and as long as I maintain my C average, then they will pay me the $400 to $500 extra dollars on that card that they gave me. Um, so I just hopefully maintain that C average. So in this video, we talked about articles 36 through 43. We talked about my college courses and the possible payment of grant fund if I keep my C average above. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Make sure for the RVW King channel to make sure on this video to hit the like and subscribe button, and to smack and it, too bad nobody left a comment here. But either way, these live stream videos are a way of getting to know my fan base when they come in, if they choose to at all. Not everybody has the chance to comment. But like I said, starting March 17th, my videos are going to be limited. I'll have classes Monday through Thursday, but my only days available after that will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to try to get as many videos out there as I can to keep everybody informed. And I will probably start coordinating college videos starting on March 17th, um, to show you like what the colleges are like. The campus is beautiful. They got their own police station on the campus property, along with their own gym, and a different building like a fitness center gym. I never got to go in there. I just saw the building from the outside. Um, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be back next week. But make sure to smash that like and subscribe button for more videos like this.